The following program contains mature subject matter. Viewer discretion is advised.
We're back exposing the abuse and torment of teens in private boot camps that claim to fix behavioral problems with tough love. You just heard from survivors. But what about the parents who put their teens in these programs? One mother says doing so was the worst decision of her life.
My son loved to be outside, loved camping. He didn't skip school, he didn't do drugs, he lacked confidence. So I looked into wilderness therapy. They took children out to the wilderness, taught them all about it, and to gain confidence, that sounded like a good fit. I asked them all the questions that everybody says were the right questions. My son wanted to go to this camp. He wanted to go and have fun and learn. I was not allowed contact with my son for the first week. I had no idea he was being abused. He was asked to carry a pack that weighed a substantial amount, and he needed to sit down. And they told him no, and they literally dragged him by the arms. I was told that no force would ever be used. 6 days into the program, I got a phone call from the director that my son was having trouble breathing and to stay by the phone. 15 minutes later, I got a phone call that he was being life-flighted to the hospital. My husband and I were on our way to the hospital when we got a call from the doctor and asked us to pull over, and the doctor got on the phone and said that he couldn't save him and he was sorry. My son died after being at the wilderness therapy for 6 days. My son was killed September 18th, which is also my birthday. I did not have any contact with my son before he died. The medical examiner's report states he had 2 bruises on the back of his head in the shape of the butt end of a walkie-talkie. Bruises on the back of his leg. He had bruising on his liver and his spleen. Based on the medical examiner's report, the cause of death is homicide. I got a letter 2 days after he died that he had written to me. After a few days here, I wanted to leave, but now it's just kind of fun. I really want to get out of here, so can you please get me out of here? Mom said they don't use physical punishment, but they do. Like on a hike, a person said, if you need to take a break, stop for a minute. Well, I did, and I got drugged the rest of the way for 1.5 miles. Please help me. Love lots, and always, Eddie. If I had gotten that letter 2 days before, he might not be dead. I placed him in a position that he should have never been in.
Lynn joins us now, and I think I speak for everyone when we say that we are so sorry for your loss. You say that in retrospect, this wilderness camp lied to you to get your son there.
My son had a brain injury when he was younger, so I did lots of neurological testing throughout his whole life. I sent those tests to this program and asked them to review them prior to ever sending him there. And they said they did. And I talked to them on the phone for hours, and they said, oh, it's a great fit. What I do want to tell everybody, I am not a scientist or extremely bright, but I am also not a stupid mother. My son went to school every day, didn't skip, didn't do drugs. He was a good kid. He just lacked confidence. And I was told this program would do that for him. I was absolutely lied to. I will say that House Bill 3330, which I helped legislate and write and pass in Oregon, put laws into effect that these guys are supposed to follow, but there are no resources to make sure that they are. So if you think about that, the only time these laws are ever going to be put into place is when another child or person dies.
And so highlighting that this abuse occurs is the first step, but then you are a parent, and you're thinking, okay, well, I've heard there are some reputable, wonderful places to send kids, but if I'm a parent, no offense, after hearing your 4 stories, hell no. I'm just gonna say hell no, but I know there are some good places out there.
Listen, it's true, Travis, it's true, and I do this in my field, and I've actually worked at residential treatment centers that were actually really, really good, and that's an important point to make, because sometimes kids do need that level of care where they do need an out-of-home placement.